Well, great morning, everyone. I hope everyone survived the holidays. And, I had a lot of very nice comments, and then I had a few snarky ones, okay? People coming in and saying, your son has a right to believe whatever he wants to believe in. Snark, snark, snark. Nobody's telling him what to believe, okay? Never. I don't browbeat my children. He's the one that cut off communication. It wasn't cut off from here. Okay? So you can put your nose back in joint. And I deleted your comments. You're not going after people here, and you're not putting snarky, rude comments. Okay? You can take your hater, Karen-esque drama with you down the road. Okay? Again, I'm not the one that cut off any kind of communication with him. And neither have I ever told him what to believe. Never, never, never. And I don't openly sit there and talk about politics all day. Okay? It doesn't happen. So whatever your BS drama is about, you can take it with you down the road. Yes, I was very happy to hear from him, to know that he's okay and doing well in his life, that he's got a stable relationship, etc. Okay? But again, you know nothing about the background between myself and my son. I did not see my son growing up until he was out of the military. Okay? Unbeknownst to you, my father took my son and took off with him. And I did not have communication with him growing up. Okay? So, when you have people making assumptions about things that they know nothing about, and their assumptions are based on their own proclivities and drama that they want to press on to others, they may want to hold off, back off a little bit, and whatever's going on in your world and your life, you can't transfer it onto here, okay, or onto somebody else, okay. So obviously these are Trump-leaning people, and very angry. I had one person that said, if it was a strong family, a difference of opinion wouldn't matter. Okay? How rude can you be to say something like that to somebody? Okay? Again, you don't know any background, what's going on here, what my life was like, what my son's life was like, etc. You have no idea. Okay? So, maybe you have a nice, very stable family home. You grew up with, Ozzie and Harriet, the Beaver, Leave It to Beaver, and you had a very warm, supportive family all your life. Okay? But for you to sit there and say something like that to somebody else is very rude and condescending. Think about what you're saying, okay? If you had a strong family, a difference of opinion wouldn't matter. Well, bully for you, okay? Not everybody's got a strong family unit, okay? Some of us came out of very broken homes. So you can't put your life experience onto others and condemn them because they didn't come out of an Ozzie and Harriet home. Okay? So, like I said, in my case, I did not see my son growing up. My father, when my mother died, the day of her death, he came home from the hospital. He threw everything that she had out. He took my son and took off with him. And I could not find him. And I did not see him growing up until he had graduated and had gotten out of the military service and contacted me. Okay? So my son and I have it's a difficult relationship, I'll put it that way. He does not have social skills, and it's very awkward because he knows that the things that he was told growing up were totally fabricated and weren't true at all. Any of the things that my father was saying, heinous stuff, none of it was true, and my son knew this growing up. So it's a very awkward relationship. It's not that he's estranged after having this great loving relationship. It's not that at all. And when I see him in person, he's very, he doesn't know what to do. He wants to have that closeness, but he doesn't know how. Okay? He was prevented from having that with me growing up. Okay? So again, you know nothing about the situation here, and want to act like I was browbeating him into thinking a certain way and rejecting him because he wasn't. And no, none of that is the case whatsoever. Okay? Now, my daughter and I have been very close. You know, I raised my daughter, a single mother raised her, and we've been very close. But my son, he wants that closeness. I would love to have that closeness, but for him, it's awkward. He doesn't know how to have that closeness, okay? He's a bit, I don't want to say sort of on the spectrum, maybe. He doesn't have a lot of good social skills. We'll put it that way. He's very intelligent, very brilliant, very smart. But growing up, he never was allowed to have and develop social skills. And it's just a very awkward situation. Okay? He wants, and I'm really happy that he reached out and that I know he's okay and he's fine and everything. But when I see him in person, I can feel that feeling of awkwardness for him. Okay? If you are someone that feels energy and is an empath, you could feel that awkward difficulty. He wants closeness, but he doesn't know how to do it. Okay? So, I am really just grateful that he did reach out and that I did get to speak with him, and again, I didn't bring up any kind of politics, nothing like that. Of course not. No, absolutely not. And I only wish him the best. I want him to have the best life. I would like to have a more close relationship with him, but I understand that is awkward for him. He doesn't know how to reach out, and I'll just leave it there. you do the best with the situation at hand. Not everyone grows up again in an Ozzie and Harriet house. Not everyone comes from a loving, stable home where you had wonderful Christmases with extended family, etc. Some of us never had that growing up. Some of us never got to have parties, never got to have birthday celebrations, never got to have the things that somebody that comes from a close extended family has, okay? And if you were fortunate enough to come from a stable extended family and you have that closeness, how dare you look down your nose at other people that were not fortunate enough to have that. Okay, so I just wanted to put that out there. People that come and want to make assumptions and put people down because they didn't get to come out of an Ozzie and Harriet existence. Okay. So I'll just leave that here. If you have been graced enough in life that you came from a very stable family home, you have extended family that are all close, okay? You have a community. You have like a little village around you, a supportive village of family, then you're fortunate, okay? But there are many, many people that come out of broken homes, broken existences, that do the best that they can with what they have. So give them some slack and don't look down your nose at people because they did not get to have a stable family growing up, a warm, comfy, cozy, extended family of love and light and all of those things. Many people don't have that, okay? And it doesn't make their life any less important than yours. So I'm going to leave that here, but thank you for all of the wonderful well wishes and things. Yes, it was very lovely to hear from my son and to know that he's gotten married, okay, and that he is doing well, that he is enjoying his life where he is, and that he's found something that suits him. I'm very, very happy for that he has found something that suits him up there by the Canadian border and leaving the life of working in the tech industry and become a goat herder. Okay, so whatever works for him, I'm totally happy with. I just want them to have a happy life. Whatever suits them, whatever works for them is what I want to have, okay? And like I said, I've called before on his birthday. I've left message. When you don't get a return call and you don't even know if that's still their phone number, that's difficult. Because of course you want to have a relationship with your children. Of course you want to have that. You want that door open, okay? But you can't push it, you can't force that, so you do what you can you give what you can, and then that's it. That's it. That's life. Some people too think that they can micromanage their children's lives, but you give them the best you can give. Growing up, you give them the best foundation that you can. If you have the opportunity to do that. Unfortunately, with my son, I did not have the opportunity to do that. With my daughter, I did. You give the best foundation that you can. And then when they are, moved out of the home and on their own life, you cut the apron strings and you let them live their life and make their choices. You can't run their life at that point. You don't own your children. You give them existence in this world. You give them a body and you give them a foundation, the best that you can, okay? And then the rest is up to them. It's their life, their experiences. They live with the consequences of their actions. You don't. And so you have to be willing to cut the apron strings, okay? Which is very difficult for some people because they live for their children. And then I've seen people that push them to have grandchildren. They want grandchildren, and they're pushing this and pushing that, rather than allowing their children to have their lives. Okay? So I'll leave that here. And I just hope everyone has a wonderful year, that there's more growth this next year, and that we can get out of this divisionary drama of hate that fuels the hate and fear-mongering, and that is fueled by the right, okay? In this delusional, they have them living in an alternative universe, which is, who wants to live like that? I really feel sorry for people on the uber right that have gone down these rabbit holes of QAnon and deep state conspiracies and hate, and just believe every one of these fallacies out there, so that their life is so miserable. Okay? I really feel sorry for them, that they are living in that type of an existence. To believe that the world is a hateful place, and that people coming across the border that just want a better life are out to make their life hell, and that they're all criminals and they're all crazy and they're all, what a sad thing to believe, which is totally untrue. They're not all criminals. They're not all psychotic. They're not all terrorists. They're not, But if that's your belief and that's what you run with all day, what a miserable existence you are leading. And closing off the doors, closing out the doors to anything and anyone that could bring happiness in your life, really. That you could be communicating with and enjoying their differences and learning from them and finding out something maybe quite valuable. So I'll leave this here. And I just want to say, understand what Christ was speaking about. Love, acceptance, okay? Doing the right thing, living a moral life, and coming from a place of love, coming from a place of compassion, coming from a place of empathy, which the uber right sees as weakness. Wokeness. Yeah, Jesus is woke. Buddha is woke. Okay? Hopefully people become woke. out of the sleep of ignorance. But what is it that Trump likes? He likes the ignorant. He wants you in that sleep of ignorance and doesn't want you to wake up to what Christ was speaking of a life, a fulfilled life. He wants people to be asleep so he can continue to be a criminal and pull the wool over people's eyes and say how brilliant he is because he's a criminal and he's able to grift off of people and then put them in fear mode of people that are actually living a life of benefit for others. Okay? So have a great day and let's go forward. Let's make 2024 a better year and get through these times to better times. I mean, these things are hopefully waking people up to the underbelly of fear, fear-mongering, and hate, etc., so that we can transition to something higher, better, more evolved, more woke, if you will. I absolutely cannot believe that the word woke has been spun into something heinous. Don't wake up. Don't wake up. Stay asleep. Stay in ignorance. Stay in darkness. Don't wake up. Don't bring in light. Light's a scary thing.